Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to the Rap Podcast. My name is TJ here.
What's good, everybody? I'm Marvin.
And we are back for another episode we made. It's a 7 episodes now.
We're trailing along,
The
aren't we?
season is coming to a close in approximately 4 weeks, where Marvin and I are going to take a brief hiatus, do some preseason work. We got a lot of stuff coming in for season 2, and we're really excited about that. But as one knows, content creators need their rest a little bit.
I know.
But let's focus on today. Today on episode 7, we brought you a special guest, a longtime friend of ours, Josh Azor.
Sir.
Welcome to the podcast.
Big man himself.
What's up, guys?
Live in the flesh.
He's here with us. How's it going, Josh? First of all, Josh, I think it's great to have you on the podcast today because I think you're one of the most well-rounded people I know.
Thank you.
You are into fitness. You're smart. You are an entrepreneur now. We'll get into all things like that.
Where did that come from?
But first of all, how have you been? How's your year been? I know your college experience has not been what you thought it might be, but talk to me a little bit about what you've been doing these days to keep yourself busy.
So, just talking about the year in general, I think so many people had so many expectations going into 2020. It's like a brand new year. You know how like this year is like 2021,
Right.
22, but 2020 is like the perfect year. It looks perfect,
It's
sounds
nice.
perfect, sounds catchy. So we all had so many expectations going in. And obviously, with how crazy it's been since then, but when it came to August, I had these certain expectations for going into college, making new friends or whatever it was, because we never had closure to senior year.
Right.
And then Holy Cross at the last minute hit us with the gonna be totally online, being at home. And yeah, initially it really sucked, but if I had to go back 6 months in time, I would do it the same exact way because I've learned so much.
Really?
I grew so much as a person. I might have shrinked a little bit muscle-wise,
Right.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into that.
but I'm actually so grateful for the past couple months with college being online. Yeah, it is tough. I guess a while back I wouldn't have wanted it to be like this, but I'm grateful for what happened.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that's good
And
to hear.
now I want to talk a little about, first to start, I want to talk about That's Your Body and the brand that you built. Take me a little through that. I mean, I remember it started with a little bit you talking to me, asking me to put together a few videos, just a little montage.
Yeah.
We started like a little over a year ago, just at the gym, just filming a little mixtape, and now now it's become so much more than just that.
So yeah, TJ, like you said, it's been just about a year since the first like mixtape video.
Right.
But it really hasn't been a year since That's Your Body. That's Your Body is only like 3-4 months old. And it's a super interesting thing to think about because when you first recorded that video initially of me when we went to that gym in Blanket, that's all pre-corona, which does make it sound ancient.
Right.
Pre-corona doesn't even sound real, going to the gym without a mask. But yeah, TJ one time, TJ's been such a huge help with it. But he came by to the gym with me and recorded me. And I remember when I put it on social media.
I remember that next day you got flamed.
I was getting cooked.
I'll put it up in the corner.
No, don't put it up. I'm going to snatch it back down.
No, we're going to throw it back up real quick just so they could see it a little bit.
Yeah, so I did get cooked. But you know what? I think that's the best thing because now the affirmation and the, like, I don't want to say validation, but the support that I'm getting just shows the contrast. Like, this can go with anything. Like, any type of, I don't want to say hate because a lot of people say, oh, all these haters that I got. Like, nobody has haters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
it's a mindset. Because if I feel like with haters, if you're going to consider them haters, then don't even consider them. They're not in your lane.
Yeah.
So if you consider them and you acknowledge them as haters, you're losing. So I feel like you do a good job at blocking out whatever
exactly.
you would call a hater in some way.
Exactly. So I don't think any of my friends were hating on me, but obviously they were teasing me. But just to see how much support I have now, it's over. I don't even want to say it's amazing. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you dropped a T-shirt, which I'll put a picture up here right now. You dropped a T-shirt initially. That's Your Body T-shirt.
Huge shout out to Ariana, by the way.
Yeah,
Ariana. None of this is possible without.
None of any of this, really. I mean, we could drop a podcast if we didn't have a logo or anything.
Tell me about it.
Ariana clutched it, dog.
Yeah, she did. But so before I get into the T-shirts, you say it best to me when we talk. But what is your it's hard to put into words now, but when you talk about That's Your Body not necessarily being a brand, but also being a mentality.
Let's go with that. Yeah, I like that.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
So actually, shout out to Kat Bravo as well. She helped me put together the little mantra for That's Your Body. As the CEO, founder, I should probably know it off the top of my head, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But basically, like you said, it is more of a mentality than a brand because when I first started it, it wasn't a brand. Like, I didn't go in over the summer recording videos with you and Logan.
No, that was just a little phrase you were throwing around.
You know what I'm saying? It was just a phrase.
A little thing that he just be randomly
body,
saying.
like
That's your body.
So Josh and I would talk about something like, "Oh, TJ, you trying to hit the gym?" I'd say, Nah, that's not my thing.
That's your body, bro.
That's your body.
Mm.
And it was just a little thing, like
That's
it was,
true.
but it was unique
That's
and
true.
it was free flow.
And catchy, and it applies to everything.
Right.
That's why it's a mentality, because if it was a brand, brands are limited because the brands that provide you with a service. So if it's a fitness brand, all you're gonna get is fitness from that. If it's a nutrition brand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it's a mentality, you apply that to your academics, to mental, you know what I'm saying? To spirituality, anything, fitness. So yeah, it was something that I've always said naturally, but I turned the catchphrase into, like you said, a brand, and it's. Oh man, it caught fire. I mean, and I gotta keep it real, because Catching Fire, like, it has like 900 followers, so it's not catching fire, but
you know what?
it feels
The
right.
fact we just look at our view count sometimes on YouTube. 200 people. We're like, oh, 200. I wish I had more. But when you think about human beings,
clicking on something.
200 human beings are investing their time to watch your content. That feels pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because think of 200. That's a lot of people. On the screen, it doesn't look like much because we're used to seeing all these influencers and stuff getting millions of views, whatever. But think of that. 200 people will stop what they're doing during the day, and we know time is precious these days,
Especially
will
now.
actually stop and actually watch what you're doing. What would you say about that, Marvin? Would you agree with that?
100%. I feel like that's something that we've already now developed accustomed to on social media. We're all so used to seeing all these big numbers, but not even like when we saw our first podcast, our stats. When we saw how many people watched, I was mind blown.
I was mind
blown.
blown, too. It's got
It
800
felt
views.
good watching
I was
that.
like,
I
that's
was like,
the
damn,
work that
700.
goes
I'll
in.
take it.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
100%.
I just want to touch on what Marvin said real quick. I think, like you said, both you guys said it, we're so accustomed to seeing so many likes and views on Instagram or on social media that we forget what it's really about, because
Right.
what I've begun to appreciate is like actually making videos.
Yes.
And I like, first of all, it is so cool because now when I watch YouTube videos or like watch movies or TV shows, I actually notice the cuts,
Yep.
or I notice little things that I
You notice the little things.
yeah, and then I have an appreciation for it. But I think every time, and especially with you when you were sending me film, and especially recently with Logan filming me, whenever he sends me film, like, I'm ready to cook.
Yeah. So are you like me where you can't start a project unless you know you're going to finish it? I can never stop a project.
Man, the thing is, I'm busy, but it's like spontaneous busy because
Right.
I don't really have schedules. It's just like, oh, Josh, can you do this? And then I'll be doing something,
nowhere,
and then I
yeah.
get cut off. So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, if I start a project on Tuesday, it's gonna be done Tuesday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless if it's in that 2-hour window or.
No, that's good that you
Yeah.
feel that way.
That's a good way to look at it.
Like, making videos is.
It's the best. That's your body if you don't do it. Right?
That's for real. That's your body. Document the moment, man.
Yeah.
Whether you write it down, record it, videotape it, document the moment.
You saw me when we were in filmmaking this, I think last year. Our videos, should we pull up some?
Okay, so
I think we have a couple. I think we have one or two of us in the filmmaking class working our magic at the time. But
Magic. Sorry.
but
Yeah, magic.
you can learn so much with it, and I think it's I think Marvin, I think it's literally like it's tough because I've been teaching myself how to edit, and I'm nowhere near TJ. TJ will turn anything and make it look cool. But the thing is, like, you have to have a passion for it. But the thing is, I don't think I could. And this is gonna sound so bad, but just being honest, like, I enjoy editing videos of me because that's my product.
Yeah, it's your project.
But if someone was paying me to edit them painting, it's not the same amount of effort because I don't have that passion. But I feel like whatever you have a passion for, you're gonna automatically teach yourself.
But do you
Yeah.
think that's a bad thing? Because at the sound of it, it sounds bad. But what's wrong with honestly being the most motivated to do something if it's you? So
Yeah.
here's how I think of it, right? When I started doing things, when I started my YouTube channel and I actually was vlogging, I was like, oh, I love doing this because it's all me. My life looks so cool, whatever, like all this stuff. But I'm like, okay, how can I transfer that motivation to grind a video for someone else? Because in the reality, right, I feel like this ties into just normal work ethic. So, like, you might be interested in history, right? You have a history test, you probably grind the history test. But if you have math, you're not as interested in math, you're not going to want to grind it as much.
That's a good.
So I feel like it's about learning how to transfer over. Like, if you have that natural motivation to do something for something you like, learn kind of like the skills and the mindset to transfer that over to things you might not like. Because in reality, right, when we go to work, we might do things that we don't want to do, right? So I think of it that way.
I think I was gonna go a totally different direction, but what you said totally convinced me. The only thing that I would say that's different is I think there's a difference between what you just said, which is motivation, and then discipline. Because motivation means like there's an incentive behind it. So when I edit a video of myself, that means I want to make myself look cool on Instagram. but there's also discipline behind it, because if I have to edit something for you, I'm not motivated to do it for you because
Right.
there's no consequence, no incentive.
Sure.
But if I'm
Mhm.
disciplined enough to know, okay, I need to get this done by this time for TJ, then I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. So I feel like this even applies going back to fitness. Like, even in my DMs, I get DMs from people saying like, "Oh, how do you stay motivated?" Whatever. I don't like. I enjoy working out, but for someone that wants to lose weight who isn't motivated to lose weight, you gotta pick up that discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't enjoy it, you gotta discipline. Discipline just means
Damn.
doing something that
This
you
feels
don't
like a whole
want to
act
do.
to me.
You know what I'm
I've been personally offended. Shots after shots after shots after shots.
Black.
No, I'm just getting totally.
So I also want to. Oh well. So also you're going back to school on Saturday.
Yeah. That's why
what's
we're wearing
your-
masks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why we're wearing the mask because we want to keep Josh safe.
That's my buddy.
we would hate for Josh to get on campus first day and
Well, let's not even say it because we don't even know what's gonna happen. You know, nothing's guaranteed.
No, let's not
nothing's
jinx it.
guaranteed. But anyway, talk to me about your feelings behind that. Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling a little maybe sort of bittersweet because of how much you've been able to grow here in your home? Like what's your mentality? You're going there in 3 days.
I wouldn't say bittersweet at all. I'm actually so excited and I'm ready to move on because, like I said, there was no closure to senior year. Honestly, speaking to anybody that's from Austin watching this, I still feel like a senior, and that's so bad because like
Yeah.
I'm 5 months into college, but I still feel like I go to Austin. I'm literally at Austin every day working out.
Right.
The same people see me, they're like, Josh, you're still here. But yeah, I'm so excited to go to college. Like, you know, I am involved. I am in student council. I'm a part of this Bible study, and I already made some friends.
That's
Some
good.
kids already know about That's Your Body, so I'm super excited. And change is good. Change and like I was about to say something, but I lost my words. Change inspires growth.
I agree.
That's good. Have you had any solid college experience yet? I mean, even though it's only been a few months.
Yeah, only a few months in, and like you're very limited on Zoom. Like it's tough because some classes, like when we get into breakout rooms, we'll totally ignore the schoolwork that we're supposed to do and just talk. And in other classes, the breakout rooms are just the initials of the person and it's silent.
Yeah, I'd figure.
I agree. I can that
see
makes
that.
sense.
It's tough because literally no one knows anybody. It's so tough, but I can't take away anything from Holy Cross itself because they're doing their best to make the students feel involved. And like I said, with being in student council, we planned a retreat that's going to take place as soon as we get on campus for the freshmen, trying to get us to bond. And I think one of the motives of the retreat is just like, you know how like sometimes when you meet new people, you put on a certain persona or a certain face, who likes you, whatever it is. Like we don't have time for that.
Right.
That's what first semester is for. Second semester is where you got to start making friends. Sophomore year is right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
We're not here until May, so we don't have time to put on those fake personas. It's like get in, get out, but make your friends while you're there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important
It'd
thing.
be
'Cause
better
the
to
next
make
3 years,
friends
you can always nail out your grade. Obviously, academics come first, whatever. But you got to make your friends now. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta build that foundation of friends now. So I think that's super important.
So here's another thing for you. I mean, for those of you that don't know Josh was pretty much the big man on campus.
Big man. Shout out Chabra. I am the big man.
Shut down.
He was the big man. I mean, you made it was obvious that when you got to Austin Prep, you said, I want to be an active member of this community. That's obvious. You finished off student council president. I followed in your footsteps.
Oh, you know how it is.
You were doing all this promotional stuff, all these projects, service, back to back and forth. You were the Josh Azor of Austin Prep. So my question is, going into a whole new, not even a question, this is more of just an open-ended thing for you, but I'm so curious because I kind of feel this way too, now that I'm such an
Involved,
member
yeah.
in the community. Like, now you went from 700 kids to what is it? Like
3,000, almost 3,000.
3,000.
So
Sheesh.
how are you going to make, and now that you have, you've missed, unfortunately, those 6 months, how are you going to like kind of like replicate that Josh, because you're going to go from Josh Azor to Joshua Azor.
So,
Yeah.
TJ, first of all, that's a great question. And I'm actually going to, and not even trying to be cliche, I got to give a lot of credit to my parents, and especially my mom, because I didn't want to run for student council for freshman class president for college at the beginning of the semester, because I was just president for 2 years at Austin.
Right.
I'm like, let me take a break.
Yeah.
Let me make my friends feel out the campus. Then maybe sophomore, junior year, I'll get involved again. But my mom said, just hit the nail on the head, go ahead right away. So I ran. And
Moms always know.
they know.
They do.
Even when it doesn't feel like it,
They know.
So obviously, like I said, I did win that, which is amazing. So to answer your question, it's gonna be tough, but I'm so excited because like you said, I just went from being a senior in high school, which is like I was living my best life.
I know. You walked
Yeah,
in.
no
everyone was
worries.
Like, Joshua, sign my autograph.
Joshua, flex your muscles.
I just went from being a senior to a freshman peanut, you know.
Right.
But you know what? That's a good thing because first of all, it makes you humble,
Right.
and then the second thing is like you said, Austin Prep is 700 kids, Holy Cross is 3,000. That just means my circle of people to reach is even bigger. You know what I'm saying? Let's just take That's Your Body for example. Everybody that I know is from Austin, from Woburn. I've never been to public school, so everybody that I know is from Austin Prep.
Yeah.
If I can reach 700 people from Austin Prep, once I step into Holy Cross, my circle is only going to amplify even bigger because it's a bigger sample size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, going to a school like that, I'm so excited, and it's the perfect size for me because the community is small enough where I get to know as many people as I try to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm gonna be able to see and meet someone new almost every day.
Right. Which is
Guaranteed.
what you want.
That's good. Meet someone new every time.
Every day, yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Well, Marvin and I are almost finishing up the college process.
I know.
Oh yeah, that was tough. That's stressful.
It's not as stressful.
Oh, for me it was stressful. I was so busy.
If
It's
you
pretty
wanna
stressful.
if you
It's
wanna
pretty
talk
damn
about-
stressful.
I've gotten accepted to, I think, 8 schools so far.
That's good.
But deferred from 4, so mainly my top. But we should be hearing back from them soon.
And I think it's gonna be one thing that I just said earlier with documenting the moment. I think it's gonna be interesting to look back, Marvin, a year from now, because I can almost guarantee that you're gonna enjoy whatever school you get into,
Yeah.
school you go to.
Yeah.
But to look back to see to remember the feelings that you were having, what you were saying, and be like, oh damn, I got rejected or I got deferred or whatever,
Exactly.
and be like, oh, it doesn't even matter.
Does he matter?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I've heard that.
So, because everybody shoots for their top
I
school.
know Marvin's gonna be having a grand old time either way.
So it's
No
gonna be
matter what.
interesting to see how you feel a year from now. But I can almost promise everything is gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
So the one who got into the first school, right?
No,
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah,
that is
you
true.
got it.
It's very easy to say.
Gave you.
Scholarship,
I know.
everything.
Give you a red carpet.
red carpet.
But no, yeah. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, and it's also interesting because I sometimes wish you were in our grade.
Thank you. I've been
Right?
thinking that for too
Because
long.
imagine like
Too long, Josh.
yeah, imagine the three of us just like had another year to just
A trio.
Because I know
I know, but the thing is, it wouldn't have been the same.
you don't think so.
True. No, you're right.
Maybe it wouldn't have.
This is the dynamic it's supposed to be.
Yeah, big brother,
Yeah, I wouldn't even say
big brother.
because that's tough. You guys are right there with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. True.
I may do some things. I may get the opportunity to explore and do some things before you guys, just because I'm a little bit older. But
Yeah.
yeah, but big brother, you know, physically big. But I'm right here with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And we're going through the same thing, basically, essentially. And we can all advise each other. If I need advice from Marvin or you,
Well, that's the thing too. Like what you were saying. Unfortunately, like because you unfortunately feel like a senior still, we're sort of at the same time on the same path. And
which is tough. But
I feel like bottom line, regardless, that's where we stay at that same frequency.
so I want to talk about too. There was a time we gotta reflect on this moment real quick.
don't put me on the spot. I don't,
There was a great time, a grand old time last October, my junior year, Josh's senior year.
I don't like being put on the spot, TJ. I don't know.
Josh out of nowhere, I needed to talk about this. I put this on my document when I was planning this. Josh made me, out of nowhere, 5 hours notice. Said, TJ, I need you and Marvin to dance in the pep rally.
Bruh,
Oh, I said, you need me to what? Said, I need you guys to dance. It'll be fun. Like, it'll be fun. I said, Josh, I don't dance. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Long story short, he convinced me. We danced to the pep rally. Worst experience of my entire life. That was actually
But who remembers that?
me.
we do.
That's 10 seconds of your life that no one else cares about.
What's the dance you do? You do a little.
The little whoa.
He throws it up, stomps on it.
It's not even that deep. What I was trying to do is just incite some school spirit.
No,
Austin does not have a problem with school spirit, but it could just be better.
I mean, and from what I've noticed since you've left, Josh, and this is no disrespect to Austin Prep, but the school spirit, unfortunately, in our grade
It's
lacks.
gone.
I envy the bond that your grade, and in some ways, I think the COVID-19 made you guys even closer because it showed you guys like, wow, we really have these great people in my life. I don't think our class has that as much. And I'm not afraid to say that because I think everyone watching, if they from the class of 21 at Austin, would agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's just something that it's a lesson that I hope kids younger than me just realize because like when COVID hit, everything went times 2 speed.
Exactly.
Everything. Like the fact that we're graduating in less than 4 months, that came out of nowhere.
That's real crazy. That is real crazy.
So
I didn't think about it like
it
that.
just makes you think. It makes you think like, okay, high school is 4 years. I mean, I know it went fast for you. I know it flew by for you. So it just makes you think. So yeah,
I know your class bond is.
Really good.
their class bond.
It's amazing.
I mean,
it brings me jealousy. Actually,
Yeah.
I wish I was in that class. I've been thinking like that since.
because now our class wants to bond, right?
Mhm.
But there's no opportunities to.
Our
So,
luck.
yeah.
I mean, this is something at that point you just laugh at.
Yeah.
It's just
No, I agree.
I figure.
But Josh, talk to me about. You got to tell me about your injury, man, because
Oh,
that
man,
was
that's
the
tough.
most. That was the
I
most
saw that.
unfortunate injury.
Oh, that's tough. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go on a little spiel.
Yeah, no, take it away.
Break it down.
Wow. So like I said, this past semester, entire roller coaster. A lot happened. So basically, back in October, so I was in a rush, and before I get to the story, you know what's crazy is that I got hurt doing something like I wasn't looking for trouble. I
Right.
wasn't looking to get hurt. When there's plenty of people out there like trying stunts,
Yeah.
doing stuff, but they walk out perfectly fine.
Right.
I was doing something that I do every day. So, anyways, I was cooking, and I was gonna try to pan sear some tuna. Man, oh man. Anyway, so I got my vegetables on the frying pan, with the oil, and they're frying or whatever. And I'm opening the can of tuna because I'm trying to get the tuna in there too. Grab my can opener, cracking it open. Halfway through, the can opener stops opening. So I look at the lid. The lid looks at me, and I'm like, I can peel this back because at the time you got to think about it. I'm like 7-8 months into quarantine. I was swole. There's no shirts in the house that can talk to me. Oh my gosh. I wasn't even wearing shirts at that point. The shirts were trying to wear me. I put on a shirt, like, please, So I was swole. And I was like, let me just try to pull back that lid. Let me tell you, it was a very low IQ moment. And no. When I say low IQ, that means like literally my IQ decreased.
And how common are those? How common are those moments that you usually have?
Those
I-
moments
it
are
does-
pretty
it's
On a
common.
weekly basis, how many times do you get them a week?
Oh, let me tell you, because if it was common, it would be a tendency. Now, I mean, I have a low IQ. It's not common. It was a spiritually like induced low IQ moment. Because the reason why I say that is because good came out of it. I'm telling you, listen, if that didn't happen to me, then I wouldn't have made shirts and I wouldn't have been talking like this right now. You know what I'm saying? Because this entire summer, and TJ knows, I've been saying, okay, let's do shirts. I'm gonna do shirts or whatever.
Josh really said, first 50 shirts are for free. Goes to Custom Ink, sees that 50 shirts are like $2,000. Like, okay, never mind.
And I'm not a business major. I'm a bio major. You know what I'm saying? And you got that. But I think if you got to pull up the clip from that. If you see that clip, you see that I said it with good heart because when I said that, I did not care if I didn't make $1. I just said, I want people to rep my.
Yes, no, I completely agree. That's why we made merch. Like,
I know.
I was giving discounts left and right, and I really got kind of screwed because we really didn't make as much profit as
bad.
we nearly thought we would. But it was so much about, like, someone would hit me back, I can't afford the shirt. All right, fine, $5 off. Can you afford it now? Yes, thank you. Okay, fine. Because it's just cool.
But that's how it starts.
It's cool to see someone represent it. And now that people are wearing them, and I got pictures of people wearing them, DMs come in.
Yeah.
Can I get a shirt? Can I get a shirt? It was up for 2 weeks, but like, of course, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's crazy. So again, sorry, back to your.
Oh yeah. Anyways, so just fast forwarding the story. So anyways, I end up slicing my tendon and getting digital nerve damage. But
Ooh, where's that? What?
all I know is that the flexor tendon allows you to move your thumb like this. TJ, you better put me on the camera so it doesn't just sound like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, yeah, so I sliced that tendon or whatever. So I pull up to the hospital, but at the time I didn't know that. I'm thinking, okay, I just need stitches. I know that I'm not gonna be able to work out, but I'm thinking maybe 2-3 weeks with stitches.
Right.
So I'm chilling in the car. It hurts. Pain level, I got good pain tolerance. Except when Ronan Noakes throws a really fast football at me in the cold and it hits my fingers. That hurts. That's like a 9. But this tuna can was probably like a 7.
Okay.
So I'm in the car and it hurts, but I'm not crying. I'm cooling it. I'm making jokes. I'm like, ah. Anyways.
Yeah, meanwhile he has a sliced thumb.
Wrapped in a shirt. Not a That's Your Body shirt, but wrapped in a shirt or whatever. We get to the hospital, and then the physician or the person that saw me ends up sending me to a hand surgeon who's down the street in Winchester or whatever. When I get there, this is when I start to cry. When I get there, I haven't cried yet, but when I get there, I'm talking to the hand surgeon, and she's telling me, after she took a look at my thumb, she's like, oh, your flexor tendon is ruptured, whatever. And she said, you won't be able to do activity for the next 10 to 12 weeks. Not yet.
10 to 12?
I wasn't crying yet. Let me tell you. I wasn't crying yet. She was like, no lifting. I was like, oh, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm always like, what's next?
You're like, she said no lifting. You're like, oh,
That was tough. She said, no driving, that's tough. So me, I'm like, listen, the next 10, 12 weeks, I'm going to go run. I'm going to turn myself into a track star.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm going to stay active somehow. You said you can't even run because at that point, it was like, if I contracted any forearm muscle and it brought down that tendon, because you know your tendons connect to your forearm.
Right.
I mean, your tendons connect to your muscles. If I contracted my muscle wrong and it pulled down the tendon, it can just make it more
So
complicated.
you could even do that in your sleep. You can
Yeah.
barely sleep now.
Yeah. So when she told me that I was basically going to be a potato for the next 12 weeks, oh, I bawled.
Yeah.
Oh, I started bawling, and it was so tough, man. And I'm going to say a couple before I give up the mic, but the things that were tough were, first of all, being inactive. Because I just went from, like, working out 2-3 hours a day to doing nothing. And it was not, like, steadily. It didn't go down steadily.
Right. It was instant.
Instantly. The next thing that was really tough is just looking at myself. Because, like, you know, as someone that, no, being serious or vulnerable, whatever the word is, but being someone that, like, takes pride in the way their physique looks or how they look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start to see yourself, it's like you don't even look different, but you start to be tripping. Is my chest smaller? You know what I'm saying?
You start to go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know myself anymore.
Exactly, you start to trip. So that was tough. But man, I am grateful because, like I said, that opened doors to a lot of things. And those 3 months, it seemed like a long time at the time, but now I'm here and I'm clear. I'm about to head off to school, so everything's good. And in all glory to God, because I have an appreciation for, this is the last thing I'll say, but I have such a huge appreciation for the medical field now, because when I cut my finger, I thought it was GG
on site. Like, it's
Right.
done.
I took off the cast, my finger was ugly. When I first started doing therapy, you guys saw my hand, like I could barely move my finger.
Yeah, you lifted like little pennies, Josh.
Exactly.
I went to one of the sessions, and Josh's poor kid's like,
Yes.
he went from like pulling like 75s to he could barely lift up the penny.
You could lift up a penny?
Like it wasn't
Wait,
an
I
actual
didn't
penny, but these little weights, like maybe a phone, were like
That's true. I had to pinch it like this.
she's like,
kind of.
okay, Josh,
could've
lift up.
pinched?
He's
Damn.
like, okay, Josh, lift. He's like, ah.
But it's humbling, and it was and I would, man, it was good, and it makes you have an appreciation for doctors and
Yeah.
therapists. They are amazing.
Especially now. I mean, it's insane with COVID.
Yeah, man.
I read somewhere that someone recently, I don't know where it was, but someone got hit by a car, crossing the street, got hit by a car 35 miles an hour. And the EMT said, I'm sorry, kid, you might as well go home. You don't look bad enough. They won't take you because hospitals are filling up because of COVID. He could have internal bleeding. No one knows. They just sent him home. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
I think this is a great point for you guys. I think over the 2020, we're gonna get a little serious here, but I think it's necessary. You two are some of my closest friends. You two are Black. This summer, we had a crazy summer based on with the death of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter protests. Being two students, I'm so close to you guys, and I almost feel bad that I don't ask you guys your perspectives enough, but being two of some of the only Black kids at a predominantly white school, so AP, and would you say Holy Cross is a little more diverse than AP, but still?
Colleges are always going to be more diverse, but still predominantly white.
Right. So I'm just curious to hear your guys' perspective, and I think it's so important for our listeners and viewers to hear this too, because I don't think, I think two things, because I used to feel this way too as a freshman. I think this type of discussion is something that a lot of people veer away from because it makes them uncomfortable. Like, because 3 years ago, that I would never ask you that, even though you're my best friend and I trust you so much, because I just feel like, oh, it's not my place. But I think it's important, and you guys let me know if you agree, because I'm so curious to hear your perspective, because your experience is so different than mine. And then I think after this summer, I think we're finally able to normalize these discussions. So would you guys agree with me on that?
100%.
So the floor is yours, guys, and I think this is a great way to wrap up, because I'm just so curious about this, and I'm just interested.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought about it as much as when I was a kid, but I obviously got into Austin when I was in 7th grade, and I instantly noticed I was the darkest.
I feel that, brother.
I was the darkest skin in the whole middle school. Middle school's 200 damn.
Yeah. 1 in 200.
1 in 200. I swear to God. And that was something I noticed real quick. But I obviously tried my best to not let that phase me, because I knew that I was in the school for a purpose. I'm trying to get a good education. I'm not gonna let that phase me. I'm just trying to get my work done, get my grades, and move on.
Right.
But obviously when high school started coming around, Josh Azor came
Oh,
around,
yeah. It's hard.
took my
I
damn
feel
spot.
Big honcho. Big honcho. You know how we do it.
No, but it actually.
Yeah,
made
imagine
me-
you're like feeling good. You feel all good. Then Josh Azor pulls up and he's like, "I'm Josh Azor. I'm huge."
You're damn right, because next thing you know, you see Josh
Next
walking
thing-
down the halls.
no
with
one,
all-
no one knows Marvin anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's not like that. It's just
Right.
that. But yeah, obviously it made me think a lot more about the diversity that we actually have in our school, and
Mhm.
obviously, given the circumstances that Josh comes in, and we also have Marvin. Marvin was another person that
Right.
Lance. A lot of people saw it as a big deal, which, being a person of color, I didn't really see it as a big deal.
It
But it
shouldn't be
was
a big
only a
deal,
big
right?
deal because it was brought upon by a greater amount of people that I couldn't control.
Right.
So that was the only talk around. Oh, did you see Josh come in?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see Lance come? Oh, did you
Right.
Marvin? He's just like
yeah.
it's just. It was the topic that was always brought upon, but I didn't really think about it that much personally. But obviously, given the 2020 year, it actually, with all that's going on, it's sad to see. Honestly, I'm at speechless of words because I don't know even to say anymore. I don't know what to look at on social media and things like that without people. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're screw
Right.
George Floyd. Like it's just so much hate right now, and trying my best to steer away from it. It's just sad
Right.
to see when it just keeps on getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
When I think it could have, I didn't think it was gonna get this worse when I was last February.
Right.
Coming in the summertime, that all these events and stuff like that are going on. So
Right.
that's really my feel on it.
I think, just to backtrack a little bit, I think not only being part of student government, but giving props to Austin as a whole. If you think about it, Austin did such a good job this year with making the school a little bit more diverse by
Right.
bringing in one
Exactly.
kids. But not only that, but doing educational talks.
Right.
So shout out to Miss Knight and shout out to the entire AP administration for letting that happen, because all of the talks that we had, no one knew what COVID was going to bring. No one knew what George Floyd was going to bring. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Right.
change the future, but AP prepared correctly.
Right.
Maybe it was a little bit late. Maybe they could have done that my sophomore year, freshman year, or even before then. But AP did a great job with preparing us for what was about to happen this summer, especially with the talk that Dr. Kirkendall gave almost right before the
Great
pandemic
speaker.
hit. Because I remember when I first met Dr. Kirkendall, I think it was like 2 weeks before school shut down. It was even weird, like, to hug her, because she was like, "Oh, I don't know if we're gonna hug, but I'm gonna hug you anyway." Hug, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was like right before the pandemic hit or
Right.
whatever. And her talk on microaggressions was
Oh, I
perfect.
know.
And I
It
think
was
that
it
really,
was probably one of my favorite speakers.
I think it opened so many
my fa-
people.
my
where,
six
like,
Oh, my eyes! I didn't. There was no word. And the thing is, like, man, and we can talk about this a whole different podcast. But language is such a powerful tool, because if you can't articulate and express how you feel,
right.
you're so limited. Because that word microaggression, I didn't even know it existed. Because sometimes being like Marvin said, it's gonna be unavoidable. There's a better word for that, but that when you're in a environment that's completely foreign to you, being the only black kid out of all white school, there's gonna be moments where you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you don't fit in. But it's not necessarily racism. It could be microaggressions, but just from ignorance.
They don't know.
And ignorant is not an insult. If you don't know,
Exactly.
you don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
100%.
But just to get back to what happened this summer, man, it was crazy, especially watching from my bedroom, because I think we can all say that we're privileged because we're all safe, we're all healthy, and we're not exposed to that kind of environment. You know what I mean? I literally just got pulled over for the first time a couple of days ago. Just wasn't speed or anything like that, but just something with my car. But anyways, it was, and that's like I said, it's my first time. It was a scary experience because of all the stuff.
Right.
And it's not even like consciously, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I have no problem with anybody. But subconsciously, when I'm being fed through media and all, even people reposting stuff on stories, because sometimes it's not 100% true. But anyways, treated him with respect and everything went smoothly and everything went fine. But anyways, just to get back to what I'm saying. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. With everything that happened this summer, I'm honestly very impressed with how my friends and the people in my circle handle it, because social media, and TJ, we've talked about this before. Anything that can be a tool can be a weapon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you have a hammer, yeah, you can build some stuff, but you can wick some stuff too.
More than I think it's used as a tool.
Yeah,
I would say, if I'm being honest.
definitely, because social media is very toxic, especially TikTok. But we can get into that.
God, don't even get me started.
Bust it challenge, they be kill it.
Bust it.
Hey,
No,
Hey.
stop.
They need to relax. But anyways, with the way my friends and the people in my circle handled it, especially with like supporting people of color on social media, standing together, uniting. You know what I'm saying? So many people united with the petitions that were being signed, the money that was being donated. Like this summer, a lot of people were brought together. So like I said, even though a lot of the events that took place this year shouldn't have happened, or we wouldn't wish that,
right.
man, they had to happen. 2020 is a wake-up call that we needed. You know what I'm saying? Especially this social media generation where we think everything's like... this is the last point I'll make. You know what? Sometimes I'm very... I'll see something on the news, something terrible, something so sad, but it won't hit me because I see that kind of stuff all the time. I'll look at it for a second, then I'll scroll. It's not until something like the Boston Marathon happens, or for me, like one thing that happened with police brutality that hit me hard when I was younger was the Trayvon Martin case, because we were around the same age, you know what I mean? And it seems like something that I would do. I'll go to the store, go buy some candy. You know what I'm saying? If I can't even do that, like that's the kind of stuff that hits me. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you look at stuff, you don't even think it's real. It's like 10 states away. It's
Right.
halfway across the
Oh,
country.
that can't happen
You don't
over
even
here.
think it's real until it happens to where it's...
That's how I felt about COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I know. We're the
We
United
legit
States
like
of
that.
America.
Damn,
We have
look
the
at
best-
Wuhan.
the
That's
best-
tough.
The
That's
best
tough.
healthcare in the world.
Let's talk about Doc V's class. TJ and I were in a class with...
Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah, end of the semester.
He knew.
Doc V knew about this since September.
He called it. He called it.
Like the day we shut down, he said, "I don't know if I'll see you next week. Have a good day." And we were like, "I'll see you tomorrow." Next thing you know, 2 weeks done.
So, yeah, man. It's hard to relate to things that seem so grand until it happens to you, even if it's on like a microscopic level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, that's my take on that.
Well, I mean, I think that's a great place to stop. I think for those watching, for those listening, I mean, it's a privilege to hear from perspectives like this because I personally don't think I hear enough. So thank you, boys, both. Thank you, men, for bringing that to the table.
Yeah. Look at the chest. Wow.
Make sure to check out That's Your Body on Instagram.
Your
And check out
Body.
his personal. He's got a
Josh
YouTube
Azor.
channel.
The YouTube channel isn't really like...
Oh, okay.
It's the Instagram.
The Instagram profile. Maybe he's doing another order of shirts. If anyone, maybe we'll collab or something. I don't know. Josh will be coming on here periodically in the next couple of seasons. So show him some love when you can. Thank you, Josh, again for
Thank you.
coming
You
to
guys
the
listening.
podcast. And that is it. I'm TJ from Rap.
And I'm Marvin.
And then that's your body, man.
Peace.
Y'all out.
Dre.